Hello everyone, is this working? Let me just make this big. Okie doke. Facebook Live. Alright, hello everyone. Welcome to this live stream. Today I'm going to cover a really important topic, and that is how to connect with a prospective client when you have them on a sales call. Now, of course, there's many facets to that complex problem, but I would like to focus on something that has been bugging me for a long time, quite a lot. And so when I found that out, my sales success became much better and much more predictable. And that one thing is the distinction between pain and problem. Why does that matter? I mean, we help our clients to solve both, right? Pain and problem. So, I mean, why should we fuss with semantics here? And the reason is that we want to build an emotional connection with our prospect first. I don't know if you know this saying, it's quite famous that people buy on emotion and then justify their decision with logic. And there's a lot to that, right? If you can get people to like you as a person or to connect to something deeply that you said, they will want to work with you. And that's why we have to approach pain and problem as a sequence we go through in order with the prospect. Because pain is emotional and problem is logical. So let's first distinguish between them. The classic distinction is you go to the doctor, you come with a stomach ache, and the doctor tests and asks you a few questions, and then concludes you probably have an ulcer. So you go there, you just have a pain, something unpleasant, something that really is bothering you, but you don't know what it is. And the doctors, because he's trained, he or she is trained, they know through a series of questions and tests, they can determine what the problem is. And that's why you go there. You go there to understand what your problem is, because once you know what the problem is, the solution is not going to be far away. Similarly, and let's now get back into business, I recently had a call with a client who told me that his own clients, what is their problem? What is their pain? He says one of the pain points that they have is that when they try to communicate the company strategy to lower level employees, they get these dead stares, right? It's something that is just bothering them because they get these dead stares. People don't really understand, they don't connect with the company mission. And that's natural if you have not done the homework internally inside the company. However, that is the emotion, that's the pain, to get those dead stares. Okay, so that's the pain. Now the problem could be, for example, we don't know that. We would need to, through a series of questions, understand that. The thing could be here that the company goals are not being communicated and broken down into individual people's goals. That could be the actual problem here. We don't know that yet, but it's really important to make this distinction. Okay, and then finally, this is, for example, something that I had on a call with one of my prospects when I was exploring his pain with him. He says he has the money is so tight that he has to do menial jobs in order to keep the lights on. And so I explored that with him. I asked him, why is that an issue for him, and so on. He says it kind of makes him feel bad about himself because he has these skills that he can really use, but he doesn't know how to get clients. So that is a pain, right? And then for myself, I had kind of the problem hypothesis. I think it's because he doesn't have any marketing skills, aside from probably there could be mindset issues as well, but I didn't know yet. But I kept it to myself. I didn't tell him that, because we were only in the point of exploring the pain. Okay, so I hope this distinction is clear, pain versus problem. Whenever you don't know if something is a pain or a problem, then ask yourself, if you were saying this statement, if this was a statement that you said, would the predominant feeling be one of anguish, negative emotions, or would it be rather something that, well, it's a logical thing and we have to solve it, or there's something we have to do with that? Right? But if the predominant reaction is one of negative feelings, then it's a pain. If the reaction is, well, something that can be solved, it's probably a problem. Okay? So once we have this distinction clear, what do we do with this information? And so one of the things that I teach is that you should break sales calls into a 15-minute call and a 60-minute call. The 15-minute call is literally there for screening. right? You just want to make sure that the person on the other end is really serious about what they want to do, and that they're not a complete lunatic, and that they are possibly really a target client for you. And you want to keep it to 15 minutes because your time is valuable. I want your time to be valuable. You should not just throw around calls willy-nilly. Okay, so that is important. And remember, I told you about the sequence. First, take them through the emotion, and then let's go into the logical part. You have to cover only pain in this 15-minute conversation. Okay, so you should not go into problem exploration, much less into problem solving. And why is this actually so important? Let's take the whiteboard of truth to the other side. Why is this so important? Well, first of all, there we go. We don't want to be a Mr. No or Mrs. Know-it-all, believing that we have it all figured out, okay? Because if we do, we have very little time. And it's really annoying if you tell somebody of a pain and they immediately jump to a conclusion. And 15 minutes is not a long time. So if somebody tells you about the pain and you say, oh yeah, it's because you don't have any marketing skills, it's like, dude, I haven't told you enough. You haven't explored it. So if you were to explore problems and even, oh my God, worst case, give solutions, you would not connect with the person. Okay, they would think this is presumptuous, and who am I actually talking to here? And then the next point while we do this is we activate their emotion. Ideally, you could even almost like twist the knife a little bit in their in the wound. I don't want to kind of go overboard on this metaphor, but you know what I mean. Like, just explore the pain a little bit so that they can really form this connection with you as somebody who understands their pain. Because if somebody understands my pain, it probably means that he or she has been there before, maybe experienced that pain him or herself, and then is able to provide a solution for that. There's a lot of power in that. Remember, people buy on emotion and justify their decision with logic. And the third reason is we make them hungry to reduce the pain. It's then going to be a cliffhanger for the next call, so that they are now in a mode of having explored the pain, hoping that the next session, the 60-minute call, will be able to provide them with relief for that pain. Okay, so those are the reasons. So actually, I think one key thing here that we have to do is we have to apply it to the real world. So, for example, what do we do with this? When somebody tells me, for example, about, and what I do is I help people to find new clients on LinkedIn via content and via outreach. When somebody tells me that, for example, their content is not performing, right? That is pain because they feel like they're not being heard, nobody's listening to them. It is unpleasant, okay? And so this we could potentially then go into, well, show me one of your posts. And I could go and say, well, this post didn't perform because your paragraphs are way too dense, you're not really giving a takeaway. That would be me going into problem, because the problem is they don't know how to write for LinkedIn, and me already providing a solution. And that is not good. First of all, they didn't pay for a coaching session, so why should I give them advice? But more importantly, you get into immediate problem solving, and you have not really understood the deep level why they, for example, don't write good content. There maybe could be something else. Maybe they're distraught from personal issues and there's maybe something emotional going on. You have not explored it enough. A 15-minute call is not enough. And therefore, don't go into these types of problem explorations when you're on a 15-minute call. And here's important, two important bonuses on the pain problem distinction. One bonus is that pain makes for much better content, actually. Right? So pain is the stuff, I mean, if you write about dead stairs, you're gonna get way more engagement on your content than if you went into company goals versus individual goals, right? It's not exciting, okay? So it's good it creates good content, and it gets you great, that's the second one, it gets you great hooks for ads. As soon as you're ready to do ads, and by the way, if you don't have yet, 8,000-10,000 a month, do not run ads. I'm really serious about this. If you're running ads, pain is great for hooks, okay? So let's summarize. Number one, distinguish between clients' pain and problem. Why does it matter? Because people buy on emotion and justify with logic. You need to keep that sequence alive, and you do that by first focusing on pain and then on the problem. Third, in our first exploratory call, only discuss pain, not the problem. 4, collect the pain statements you receive on those calls to fuel your positioning document. You should have a positioning document where you are listing your clients' pains and problems, and then use those pain points for content and ads. Cool. I hope this was useful. I see you in the next Facebook Live.